Let's see if it connects now. Hello? Let's see if you connect now. I'm sorry. There's something going on up here that it doesn't let me connect onto the live stream for some reason. So I may need to start doing live streams on my laptop downstairs. It could possibly be that I have a Wi-Fi jumper. It may not be able to jump all the way over here. I don't know. I wanted to see if they could connect my Wi-Fi to the house back here, but they said they couldn't. So we're stuck. So if you're coming to my live, I wanted to say hello. How are you? I wanted to share some of my plans for this March, maybe, and see how everything is. So if you're here and you can hear me, let's see if we could get some people on here. Let's see if some people can join. Unless I've lost my following. Maybe. And it doesn't matter. But I just wanted to come up here and talk to you guys and see how you're doing. And some of the things I've been working on for long arm quilting and everything else that goes on in my life. So, I'm going to wait a little longer. And if not, I'm going to kick off. And I'm going to go work on a paper piecing quilt. I just wanted to come up here and say hello. I love y'all. Hope y'all are doing good. Hope y'all had a good February. It's already been a minute. So let's see. I know a couple people were on here and I had to kick off because it wouldn't let me. Hello, Peachy Cheeks. How are you? How you been? How's your week? How's February? How's New Year's? Mine has been... February is not my favorite month lately. Yeah, it's been a bit of a complicated month, but I guess we're just going to survive it, right? So how are you doing, Peachy Cheeks? Usually I have a bit more people, but I don't think I live stream at this time often, and I didn't give any notifications because I'm one of the kind of whim kind of girls. That's all we can do. Yes, survive. I've been trying to really focus this year on just, what have I really been trying to focus? I decided to back off on working for clients for a little bit. So it's kind of better. And then I am working on my laser, trying to learn it and getting some systems going. And then what else? Just kind of figuring stuff out. I decided this year that instead of killing myself working for paying off the laser, that this year I really just wanted to enjoy it and enjoy it differently. So how are you doing, Peachy Cheeks? Can you hear me okay though? Is it okay up here? And if you have any questions, let me know. Hi from Georgia. I hope I'm saying your name, Phyllis. Hopefully I said it right. How are you? Hello from Minnesota. Hello from Texas. Okay, you can hear me good. Okay. I ended up coming on here and I don't know what it is off the internet here. I'm having to jump. I have the jumping internet. Anyway, whatever. Stupid. Sometimes when I have it plugged in, it does not connect. And sometimes when I don't have it plugged in, it connects better. So yeah, I had to get off and get back on. If I have problems, because YouTube sometimes will just kick me off, I will come back, I promise, but it'll probably be downstairs. Hello from South Carolina, from Brazil. Oh my God. We have a Brazilian here. Is PH Philadelphia? Barbara, I hope I said it right. I'm not really good about my states and countries. How are y'all? How you been? I'm sorry I haven't been posting. I'm dealing with migraines. I had a migraine for 4 days straight, and it was the weirdest experience, but I'm doing better. Pennsylvania. Okay. Awesome. Sorry. That's wonderful. Thank you. How are y'all? how you been. What are you working on? You know what I'm working on? Let me share what I'm working on. I'm working on, it's called the wolf pattern, paper piece pattern. I'm halfway done. I'm halfway putting all the pieces together. Hello, Deborah from South Carolina, South California, Claudia. Thank you for coming to this live. I was on here for like a minute and no one was on here. So I'm like, maybe I need to leave and not do lives no more. How have you been? How's this year been so far from you? Can you believe it? It's already February. We are already in febrero. I'm like, I think January kind of went so fast for me because I went to Florida, Orlando, Florida. And it's almost like I went to Florida, came home, like running around. And then I look back and I'm like, what happened to January? Have you ever had months like that? February has been a little bit better because I've been busy, but not busy in the sense. I think when you travel and you do a trip, it kind of, I don't know, the month goes faster for me, I feel. And so, yeah, I'm glad you've been so busy. Deborah Harris says she's busy. By the way, I had a TikTok channel. If you're into TikTok, I'm just learning TikTok. It's really hard to learn all these social media things, but I found like a really neat group on social media, on TikTok, that they sew together. They hang out and sew. I am posting more there because I'm trying to get 1,000 followers so that I could do lives there. And mainly on the lives, which is really neat, is you could kind of sew as a community, kind of. But I've met some really great people over there. But then TikTok's kind of crazy. There's some crazy people over there too. And what's different from YouTube, it's, for example, if I do a live stream on YouTube, the only thing I can see is like y'all's names, your comments. There's no, as a matter of fact, if you wanted to join my live, I think I would have to get a Zoom program to get you guys to join as a community. I need to figure that out. But anyway, hi Terry, how are you? And so I got into TikTok, so if you're interested in going over there, I've been posting there more frequently because I could post from my phone and I could post small reels. And if you would like to follow me there, no pressure if you're not into that. I was not necessarily that into TikTok either. But when I saw there was like an ability that you could sew together, it caught my attention. And so, yeah. I'm going to, hello from middle of Nevada. Nice to meet you. So how are you? Do you have any questions? I'm here to answer questions. Sorry, there was dust. I've been wiping down the dust here. So I'm like, so that's what I was doing. Is there any questions you want to ask me? This is a time I want to be here for y'all. Some people ask me, someone asked me about YouTube because they had a business and they wanted to do a YouTube channel. And I probably talked their ears off. Because I tell you the honest truth about the good and the bad of TikTok. No, the good and the bad of YouTube. The good and the bad about all types of social media. One of the problems, and I'm going to share just quickly, enough is never enough for social media, I feel. Especially when you're doing content kind of work, because whatever video was the best in your lineup of 10, it always is demanding, like telling you, for example, if I post 10 videos, whatever video did the best, the next video is baselined on that video. And so YouTube sends you like analytics saying, yeah, out of this number 10, this number 1 video, this number's 10. And so in a way you have social media telling you that your video kind of sucked. It really does. And there is this weird emotional attachment when you post a video because you worked on it. It's almost like a different type of art form. It's a videography art form, and you're really proud of it because you spent a lot of time doing it, and then YouTube analyzes it based on the certain amount of time to where this video did compared to this video. And so if it doesn't do as well initially, it does kind of tell you like, yeah, this video kind of sucks. And it could be emotionally taxing. But I've gotten to the point, I've been doing this so long that when I post videos, it doesn't matter when I post them. I don't even look at the analytics anymore because I realize that sooner or later people, if they love you and they follow your content, sooner or later they'll make time to follow you. It's just that they don't have the time right now. And it doesn't mean that your video was not a good video, or maybe it wasn't their interest and it's not personal. So you kind of have to manage that. But someone was asking me about doing videos on YouTube and what it's like. And so that was one of the things, that just do it because you love doing it, not doing it because YouTube is valuing your content, because the truth is your content is valued by the people who watch you and the people who turn to love you. And that's what it really is about. And so, yeah. Hello from Oregon. How are you? How are you? But if you have any questions, I'm here for you. That's why I like doing lives. So if you have questions for me, some of you are interested in long arm quilting, some of you are just interested in quilting, and some just think I'm a crack up and you watch me because I'm an idiot. So whatever you want to know, I'm here to answer questions and just to chat with y'all and catch up. Pretty much. This is like an easy video because I don't have to sit there and clip out videos. I could just sit and hang and talk to y'all. So how are you? I see someone from Brazil here. How did you find me in watching me from Brazil? Can I ask? Or from someone from South Carolina. I think your name is Claudette. Claudette. Thank you, Deborah. I'm so glad you guys like watching. I try to be entertaining, but sometimes I think last week I wanted to post some videos, but it's really hard to be perky. Like, I'm feeling better. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I even got my camera and I tried to film, and it's just like when you have a migraine, you're so absolutely overwhelmed with your own physical body that you're just surviving that day, right? I'm glad. I thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I thank you for the time you guys give me, because time is short sometimes. Thank you, Grandma. Grandma's Green Acres. I hope that I bring value to your life, at least somehow, in some way. That's really what this is about, right? Bringing value. But let me share, I've been working on one of my own, and I've been kind of bad, okay? I've been kind of bad. This is one of my quilts. Hey, the camera. This is one of my quilts. Thank you. I honestly want to be as honest as I can, and I want to be really honest. I've been struggling with some stuff. So this is a block swap that I did 2 years ago, or maybe a year ago. And I think I have a pattern on the YouTube channel on how to do this thing. It came out really pretty. I am custom quilting, meaning I'm allowing the computer to put a design, the feathers, because I don't think I would be this good at making the feathers this big. But in the center, I want to use the ruler that I designed. I really am like working with my ruler, trying to make sure that it's a good quality ruler. And so this is what I've been working on. And I went ahead and I pulled out some of my old quilts. I love long arm quilting, okay, guys? I love it. Hello from Dakota. Nice to meet you, Alexandria. Nice to see you, meet you. This year, I've made myself kind of like, okay, you've paid off the lasers. I'm in the middle. You know, there's a scripture where you're like in the valley. I feel like I'm in the valley right now. Before what my plan was is I need to pay for the long arm. I'm going to get a long arm. So I got one in January. And then I need to learn the long arm the laser. Sorry. I need to learn the laser, the baby laser. And then I got the bigger one. I need to move in the laser. And then I need to pay off the baby laser. Like, so last year I had intentions or plans, or I already had kind of like my goal in front of me. Learn the baby laser, get ready for the large laser, pay off the large laser once it got delivered, then okay, pay off the baby laser if you decide to keep it. So there was this goal-mindedness that I had. Something weird happened to me just recently that I feel like a little lost. And I think that's part of life sometimes. Like maybe you're transitioning from one job to another. Maybe your children are growing up and they're moving away from home. And so you're in a different transition. Or, maybe, your marriage is changing. You and your husband are separated, or you're getting married. There's always these transitions. So last year I had those transitions, but they were set goals. Like the laser was a big focus on it, and I did so much work to pay them off. So they're completely paid off. I'm so proud of myself. But this year I don't have to focus so much on my long-arm quilting business because the machines are paid off. Does that make sense? And so I ended up going to Eon Lasers, and I became a partner with them, and I'm just kind of struggling with that decision. I'm struggling with myself. I love the company. I love the laser that I got, but I'm 50 years old, and there's this, and where the transition is, it's, do I really want to be selling lasers for a company? Does that make sense? Because that's really what a sponsorship is. It's your sponsor, they're sponsoring you to be selling the machines for them, and I'm really struggling with that decision. And that's where I'm wanting to be honest about it. Initially, I thought the decision was great. And it's nothing bad. There's a lot of wonderful women who do the laser business, and they are entrepreneurs. They're hustlers. They're really out there, right? And the reason I got the laser is I want to be able to do quilting stuff. For example, I made this box and I lasered the L and the needle, and this is made out of cedar that I got at an estate sale for $10. They had it cedar, so I created this cedar box. It's beautiful, but it's just a box ultimately, right? And I'm in my mind is I like being creative. I like making. Okay, so ultimately I like making, but I'm not a very business person minded kind of person. I'm not motivated by making money, and that's been a problem for me. Okay, having a long-arm quilting business, the reason I've been successful in that business is because I've gained it by word of mouth. I do a quilt for a client, and the client loves my work, and I'm very focused on the client, the customer service, the loving the human being kind of aspect of it, that I love my clients so much that they advertise me, so I don't have to pay for advertisement. Hold on, Cookie's crying. Ooh. Come on, Ma. And so, I'm not very money motivated. I'm creativity motivated. Making things motivates me. And ultimately that's why I got the laser. And ultimately there was some things that I wanted to make for my long-arm quilting business for myself, and I couldn't find it. So ultimately I got the laser. I spent so much money not to make money off the laser, even though I thought it is something I can do and will do, but that's not my motivation. So I've been struggling kind of like with myself, because when you become a partner with a company that is very money motivated, and that's out there everywhere. Walmart is motivated, even though they say they're the lowest prices. They're very motivated to make money. I'm hitting like a personal integrity wall for myself, because I'm talking to a lot of business-minded, creative beings, and they're beautiful. But they're sharing like their Facebook page, their Facebook business page. They're showing all these things, right? And I'm so overwhelmed, because they use social media to get you to buy. And that's not why I use social media. How are you guys? Hi, Monica. How are you? So I'm really wrestling with it. I went and got a Shopify, and I paid for it. I was ready. I'm like, okay, now I need to make a banner. I need to take pictures of my rulers. I need to And then I was watching like YouTube videos on it, and they're like, okay, and this is a moral compass issue for me. Apparently on Shopify, which you and I don't know, because I'm not this kind of person, when you get Shopify, you can literally buy an app. You purchase an app and download it into your Shopify, where you can lie and give yourself false reviews. Did you know that? I never knew that. I am so like I am so in my four corners of my life that I am not. As a matter of fact, I had a meeting with one of the Eon sponsors. Oh my God. And we were having a conversation, because she was telling me, you need to put your partnership on Lorena's Quilting, and you need to put your partnership here, and you need to do this. And I'm like, why would I do that? My quilting community don't care if I have a laser or not. And then she was like, well, we want people who would not be interested in a laser to buy a laser, and you have a following and you need to tap into that. And I'm like, no. And she goes, then why do you want to be a partner? I go, I don't know if I even want to be a partner now, because no. She just said no. It's almost like no. And she said, because I'm challenging her, because I'm 50 years old. And I think when you get 50 years old, you don't care if people agree with you. You don't care if people like you anymore. You're not a 20-year-old that has insecurities. You've already kind of like plowed your life through, and you've made decisions that you liked and decisions that you didn't like. And you've kind of decided who you wanted to be. You kind of found your identity a bit more than when you're a 20-year-old, because in that time, your identity is based on what your parents want you to be, or what your school system wants you to be, or what society says you want to be. And so you're kind of molded by these external things. But as you walk through life as a 50-year-old or 60 or 70, you kind of get a little bit more grounded on the human being you personally want to be. And so, yeah, I'm 50. And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, how the hell do you have your business? Well, she didn't say it like that, right? Like, how do you have your money? Okay, I don't use social media for my business at all. I started doing YouTube because I liked sharing what I did. And ultimately, Oh my God, banana cream pie. Yeah, okay. I'm going to talk about what you just said to me, okay? So I'm not very motivated. If I post a picture, I just kind of want to share. I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you like on YouTube. I want to grow, and I would love to grow on TikTok. I want to grow on Lorena's Lasers, but who I am, despite that, doesn't matter. I want, does it make sense what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. It doesn't, ultimately, I go to sleep well. I don't have to, like I saw on TikTok, some people um, showing their personal effects, like, and then saying, hey, if you want to see down here, I'm not going to say it, you could go to this app and pay me $19. I don't think that after a period of time, your emotional compass is going to be very whole or satisfied with that kind of behavior. And so I make sure that what I post here, I'm honest, I'm proud of myself, that I'm willing to work for it. I'm willing to earn it slow. I'm willing to win y'all's heart, because I want you guys to know that I don't want to have evil intentions. I don't want to manipulate y'all. I'm very, this relationship with YouTube and me and those who watch me, I value it. I value it in such a way that I want to make sure that I'm positive, that I impact your life positively, because so easily you could impact people's lives in such a negative way. You can make people like stumble, and you could cause them to go in the wrong direction. You could get them to believe things that can be emotionally and psychologically detrimental. And so I don't want, I know the responsibility of it. And so I try real hard to keep that heart in mind. Like, I want you to know that you can have your daughter watch my channel, and that your daughter is not going to be led wrong by anything. Anyway, but the society doesn't care about that, right? And so the young girl turns around. She's like in her 20s, maybe close to 30s. She says, how do you even have what you have? Like, how did you do this? And I said, word of mouth, and people just love me, and I don't think that you guys just love me or care for me. I think you guys, I don't have no motives. Like, I'm not out to deceive you. I'm not out to, like, it's stupid if I ask you to buy for a ruler when you should feed your kids first. Like, I did a BBYA Youth Association. I used to do embroidery work, and I used to do it really cheap, meaning I would do embroidery on a hat, a name on a hat, a number on a hat. And I was mainly an embroiderer. That's where my business initially started. And I would do it like a number for $2, a name for like $3. So it cost $5 to get two things done on a hat. Now, it was torturous for me. It took a lot of time. And then I would do vinyl or even embroider on the jerseys. So it was for $10, I would do all three. And if you brought me the team, I would charge $10. And whether they knew it or not, I was praying for those jerseys. I was hoping that the kids didn't get hurt. I was like, I don't know. And I got a really great following that way. I was fair enough to where I felt like me doing the work was making $10 for the 3 items that I provided was fair for them especially, and really good for me too, right? So to me, it was a very balanced relationship. And I got a lot of joy seeing these beautiful little kids having my work on them. Yeah. And so she literally, and that's what started my business, okay? And so she was like, well, you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need to do that. And I'm like, no. So anyway, I ordered Shopify, and Banana Cream Pie was telling me that you can get review apps. She just shared this. You can get review apps that can change. Someone can literally put an honest review of a product, and I think it's very deceitful, and I personally, it's wicked to me that I could change what you have to say about my product and deceive people. And I'm not okay with that. So anyway, I got the Shopify and I bought it, and this guy, so the parallel, right? The partnership that I'm partnering with and the person that's trying to direct me on how to do my partnership, they're giving me this counsel. And this is the counsel they feel is how I will be successful, right? Well, then I'm hearing videos on Shopify, and one of the things, this guy was like racing, you got to do this, you got to do this, and you got to get this app, and you got to get this app, and you got to get this app. And I was like, dang, before I even start, I have $1,000 in. Before I even sell one thing, before I sell one product, I'm $1,000 in. No wonder everybody has to raise their prices so high. It just gave me this revelation, and I go, no wonder everybody is so desperate to grab everybody's money wherever they can. And let me just say this. I love Missouri Star Quilt, and I'm not trying to say anything negative about them. Or I love Joann's. I go to Joann's, and I've purchased stuff at Missouri Star Quilt. But and I am not brand loyal in any way. But I get so annoyed. Apparently there's an app, and there is an app that will email you every 2 weeks. And then this is what the guy said: keep your name in their mind. Keep your name in your mind. Keep putting yourself, they will email you, they will text you every week, they will offer you sales constantly, and that's a manipulative marketing tactic to get you to spend more money. And pissed me off. It pissed me off because I was like, and I get it from Joann's. Okay, Joanne sends me texts, and it's fine. I think I get them once every 2 months, but I get them from Missouri Star Quilting, and I love them. Okay, I'm not saying anything negative about that, but that's the marketing tactic. Have you constantly reminded to, hey, remember me, come to my shop, come to my Shopify, okay, so I got the Shopify, right? Because I was like, I'm going to sell my rulers on Shopify. I'm so innocent. I'm so naive in this world, because the truth is I've never, I think I bought a website. I think I got GoDaddy, and I had a website, but I didn't have a following. So and I barely had any products. It was so hard to work. I just kind of gave up on it. I paid for it for the year and never used it. I never made one sale. I think I tried Etsy once, and Etsy just didn't send me nowhere. It didn't work. And so I kind of gave up on it. But I feel that God, and this is where I bring up God, God got me the work by doing one job for somebody for baseball. And then I ended up getting this community of work, real people who came to my house and dropped off the jerseys. And I ended up establishing a business that way, not by e-commerce. And so the lady's like, well, how do you have your clients? Like, it doesn't make sense. You're a business-minded person, but you're not doing it the way we do it. And I said, it's word of mouth. And so if you have a long-arm quilting business, if you have, do great work. I mean, do excellent work, and be really great with the clients that you have, and be superior above anybody else, and people will bring you work and tell other people about you. And that's where you won. And so I literally got the Shopify. I was overwhelmed. I was freaking out. I'm like, I'm going to have to be a con artist to be successful here. I'm going to be harassing people to buy a ruler? Like, that's stupid. Like, I'm going to have to get in $1,000? Like, okay, so the next day, the next day, I didn't want to crawl out of bed. I did not want to get out of bed because I was so morally tormented about, is this the way I want to do this? And I guess, and I'm sharing some real vulnerability here. Whatever your society says on how you should do it, that doesn't mean that's the way you should do it. And so I really went into a room and I got quiet because I was like, okay, I'm hitting like mass. I'm not saying I'm depressed, but like, am I going into like an identity crisis here? And I went walking, and I kind of like, I'm hearing my partnership saying, this is how you should do it, but that's how they're doing it, and that's right for them. And I have to decide what's right for me. And how do I really want to be? So anyway, the whole scheme of it, I literally canceled Shopify. I'm like, I'm going to have to go $1,000 in just to get started. And I'm going to, what is it called? They also have an app for like cart retrievals. If people don't check out on the cart, there's a cart retrieval app that you have to go back and tell them, hey, remember? Hey, you were going to buy something. Hey, we're here to remind you that you need to swipe that card. We don't care if you have debt. We don't care if you're broke. We don't care if you need to eat. We just care that you swipe that card and finish that cart. I just can't see that being okay. Anyway, but some people can, okay? And I'm not saying that everybody who has a Shopify has that kind of mind, but that's how, when I was watching this YouTube channel guy selling his product, that's what he was saying. His energy, his process, and very money motivated. Very money motivated. And so I kind of like hit a wall, and then I ended up having migraines. And I don't know if it was because I ended up having an emotional so what I've decided to do, yeah, the Holy Spirit saying, don't do it. I went into prayer, and I love the Lord, man. The Lord has you. I guess the Lord has had me all these years. You know what I mean? The Lord's had me all these years. The Lord's been good to me. He's given me work when I didn't expect to get work. I ended up doing like embroidery on a name on a hat for a lady one time. And all of a sudden I had a rush of people asking me if I would do work for them. And I went into prayer and I was like, Lord, how do you want me to do this? How do you want me to do Shopify? Do you want me? There's such a different, you could do long arm quilting or quilting for people in so many different ways. And you just need to find what fits you. That, like, I really love talking to people. I had a client come over and I did an embroidery label for her. Okay, you can laugh. It's not funny, but it's funny. And when my clients come and drop off something, when a client comes and asks me to do work for them, so she wanted a label, and I said, there's two ways you could do it. You could drop off the fabric and leave, and I could embroider for you, or you can wait while I do it, because I feel like her coming from, I think it was New Braunfels, to my house, it's about like a 30-minute drive, give or take, depending on where she's at, and then her driving back, and then me calling her the next day to come back, it's like a lot. It's a waste, right? So I was sitting there embroidering the item for her. I already had it digitized. I found out she was sick. I found out that she has liver disease. I found out that she was depressed and discouraged, and I just got to talk to her as a person. Like, she is a human being talking to me. And while she was there, I was praying for her, and she says, I just decided, I feel like I'm dying and I'm going to die tomorrow. And I'm like, hey, you're alive today. Make the best of it. You're alive today. Make the best of it. A lot of us who don't have cancer or diseases, they get in a car and today was their last day, right? They didn't even know it was coming. And so I said, make today your best day. And so I was praying for her. I was talking to her, and I embroidered her item. And then we spent some time, okay? We spent some time chatting, talking. I gave her time to share herself with me, and I shared some of my stuff with her. And she said to me, she's funny. She's funny. She goes, I don't know how the hell you make money. She goes, you've spent so much time with me. How do you even make money? And I said, ma'am, it's not about the money. It's about talking to you. Whatever, I made $10 on the label, maybe, yeah. It was really almost like her coming to me. God sent her to me so I could pray for her, so I could encourage her, so I could just meet her, right? Meet someone who's struggling with something and just try to encourage her, right? And I realized that, oh, that's what you want from me. That's why I have okay, so the lady who was talking to me, she goes, what if the YouTube shuts down? What if the internet closes? How's your business going to succeed? And I go, they have my phone number. They have my phone number. They know where I live. They could walk to my house and knock on my door and say hello. They're I have a person-to-person type of business. It's not on the internet. It's a person-to-person kind of business. And I guess, anyway, I'm still going to sell my rulers, but I'm going to do it on Etsy. Okay. And I was thinking, if I do it on Etsy, it's only 30 cents in, whether they sell or don't sell, whether people see them, want them or not. It's not about that. It's about, and also too, what I like about Etsy, you could have custom orders where people could custom order their item. It's more personal, right? That kind of but sure enough, man, I've been wrestling with, where do I go from here? Where do I go from here? Thank you, Graylin. Thank you. Someone said that they would hate to do the kind of business I do because I guess they don't like talking to human beings or people. And yeah, there's these moments with people, but then there's these other wonderful moments where I have some of the best clients. I love this client. I'll share some good client information. Good quality clients. One of them, I had a lady, she was really, she was getting medical treatment, and I believe a lady told her about me. One of my clients, her name is Jan, told this client about me to bring my quilts, and this client would bring me 3 quilts every month because I had a special, bring me 3 and I'll do 1 for free. And so she would always make 3 quilts and then bring 1 for free. Or I even think bring 3 and one of the 3 was for free at the time. And so she always brought me 3. And I remember I was going to college. My husband lost his job. We were financially starving. I'm just being honest. We were financially starving. And she knew that I was going to college and I was working on her quilts for her. And I remember there was a time she walked into my long arm room. She walked up to my house and she walked into my long arm room, picked her patterns out. And I remember her just being proud of me. She wasn't my mother. She wasn't a family member. She wasn't anybody personally important to me. But she became kind of a surrogate of that for me. She was She told me she loved me and that she supported me. And she told me her college stories, and she told me her career. And as she was my client every month, or every month and a half, or every month, she brought me three quilts. And as life went on, right? I think I was on my 4th year of college. Well, I think there was a time she was on a walker. She was walking herself in because she was having some issues with her walking. And then as time went on, her husband rolled her on a wheelchair in. And I saw her just, I guess she was there for me when I was struggling with our financial situation, and I got to be there as she struggled with her health issues. And but she always was so excited about the quilts, excited to see them. And then it got to a point where her husband was named Herb, and Herb would come and bring me the quilts. And I remember when I got my degree, I think that's where she started really having some health issues. I got my degree, and her being so sick that she would have seizures, she forced her husband to put her in the car so she could come to my house and give me a hug because I finally got my degree. And they got to a point where she would still work on her quilts, but her husband would just be dropping them off with her long list of what I had to do for her. And I love the day he called me one day and said, Herb called me one day and said, I want you to know that she's not here no more. And I'm not going to be bringing you any more quilts. And I don't know, I kind of missed her. Oh, I miss her. But he said, Lorena, I think she lived longer because you gave her this motivation to finish all her quilts. And he said that she finished so many quilts that all her children and grandchildren and many of her family members ended up having quilts made by her. And he says, I'm just letting you know that she loved making the quilts because she loved getting them back done. I don't know. I think that's what it's about, right? I think in me, it's loving the humanity that stands in front of you, loving the people that God puts in front of you. And I think we're obligated to be that, because she was that for me. She loved me and encouraged me and was cheering me on when I was really having some major financial struggles. And I put myself into college, and man, all you taxpayers, man, y'all are blessing. You helped me pay for my degree because I got financial aid, and I'm so thankful for that. I think whatever you do, I guess that's where I've been wrestling. I'm talking to very money-minded people, and their value of success is making 6 figures, which is great. 6 figures is great. But 6 figures doesn't make you a better human being. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, okay, I have a lot of things, right? I have the long arm. I have 2 lasers now. When I die, who cares? Who really cares? Because my kids are going to have it, or my husband's going to sell it. There's going to be a time, I go to estate sales, there's going to be a time where the furniture that you love is going to be sold by your children, or by the estate is going to sell them. And whatever you build physically, intangible goods, doesn't matter, because someone else is going to, you can't take them with you, right? You can't. But what you can take with you is what you provided to your society, what Like, were you kind to people? Did you love people? Were you a servant? So that lady goes, I don't know how you even make any money. Like, you spend 3 hours with me. I looked at her and I go, I did make money because I got to talk to you. I did get value because I got to talk to you, and I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to ask God to help you, encourage you. It also encourages me that you got up and got out of bed and you came and got something accomplished. And so one day when I'm sick with an illness or sickness, I have to just get up anyway and live life, because today is the day that was promised for me to live. And so, yeah, I've been really wrestling, guys, though. Wrestling, because people could disqualify you, and people can make you feel like you're not valuable unless you have a valuable check. And the times I love what I do, okay? And you know what I miss? I miss that young little girl, Lorena, who was learning how to piece and would sit in front of her sewing machine and just sew all day. Those were like the best days of my life, I feel. And one of my favorite quilts that I made, it was for this pastor who had dialysis. And wow, I sat with one of my favorite human beings in the world, and me and her sat for 2 days and 2 nights just sewing this. It's called the repeated cross quilt. It was a repeated cross pattern. It was a cross pattern. I think I have it on my YouTube channel. And we laughed together, we ironed together, we sewed together. We made this quilt for a pastor, and I remember embroidering a scripture all the way, his favorite scripture, around him. And keep this in mind, this guy was the guy that married me and my husband when I wasn't a Christian. As a matter of fact, he was preaching so long when I was standing there in front of the pulpit, I was like, come on, hurry up and shut up and just marry us. Because he was doing a sermon about in Genesis, where Adam had all these animals walk in front of him, that God was revealing to him that there was no one fit for him but Eve. And that was kind of just, when I became a Christian, I started realizing, like, wow, that's beautiful. That Eve was the one made for him. And part of his preaching was that he was telling my husband, which he wasn't my husband at the time, that once you make this marriage decision, you're making a decision that there's no one that fits her, that's made for her. And so years later, he married me in 91. I got married in 92. I got married in 92. And I believe I made him a quilt in 2014. And I prayed for that quilt, and I embroidered this scripture. It was beautiful. That quilt is, mwah. I have it on a blog. Lorena, a thread of scarlet.net is my blog. A thread of scarlet.net. Anyway, I have the quilt. Oh my God, that quilt is beautiful. And I remember that he was dying. He was dying. And me and one of my favorite persons in the world, who's not my favorite person anymore, but I still love this person. Anyway, we sat and we prayed for him, and we built this quilt top for him. And he was dying, like dead. He had been in a coma for several days. Anyway, it was bad for him. And I remember her and I going in prayer and making this quilt. I took it to him. He was on dialysis, and he ended up having a kidney transplant, and he's still preaching to this day. It was a prayer. It was God's answered prayer. But I guess you're going to have people that are going to disqualify you, disqualify how you do things. And I had a lot of people disqualifying me when I got an embroidery machine, but they didn't know I had a dream. They didn't know I had prayer. They didn't know I had a God that that would move for me in a different way that he would move for other people. He didn't know, like, for example, when I got my long arm, there was a lady who told me literally, and we became friends, but culturally, because I was a Mexican and I was a stay-at-home wife and I didn't work, and this is where God gets in. So I'm talking to those who have God dreams, dreams that God implants in your heart. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the resources. I was a porchita, una mexicana. And I met this lady and she said, you'll never have a long arm. She literally told me to my face, in my ears, that I would never have a long arm. But she didn't know that God told me a year before, because I saw PBS, Linda's Electric Quilting did a video on a long arm, and I ended up buying the brochure or getting the brochure mailed to me because I wanted to know how much, right? And they didn't advertise that you had to get the brochure. I had the brochure, and when I opened it, I just got my first embroidery machine, a first 16 embroidery machine. I opened the brochure, and I heard the Holy Spirit, this voice inside my soul, and it said, do you want one? Do you want one? And I said to that voice, which is to me God, the Holy Spirit, I said, no, I love my embroidery machine. I'm happy where I'm at. No, I'm good. Thank you, though. I just want to see the pictures. I just, and one part of it is I didn't have faith for it. I just didn't have faith for it, and I just didn't think I would need it. I didn't think God's plans are big. God plans big things for you. God. Yeah, a God that I didn't think was real, a God that I thought he abandoned me, I thought didn't exist. When I became a Christian, I started realizing that this God that saved my life had big dreams for you. Hello. And so when that lady told me a year later, after I saw the brochure, right, she's like, you'll never have one. And never. Not you. I remember putting my hand on her long arm and I looked up to her. And I think this is where you and I have to get a hold of and have a different, I was preaching the other day where it says that the Spirit of the Lord led Jesus to the wilderness. And the devil tempted him. And when Jesus was hungry, the devil said, turn these stones into bread. And in the time of Jesus's most hunger, like he was starving, 40 days, 40 nights, not eating or drinking, like this dude was starving. You and I, when we're starving, like we're starving for love, we're starving for affection, we're starving for respect, we could starve in so many other areas. We're starving for value, we're acknowledgement, we're starving for forgiveness. We can starve, right? And when the devil tempted him, the devil will tempt you in that place of starvation to become something you're not supposed to be. And so Jesus said to him, so clearly he said to him, he says, a man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. And when I was preaching it, I was like, the mouth of God. The Bible is the mouth of God. It's what God says about God. It was what God says about you and I, about a society, who we are, about what God identifies as valuable. And so what ended up happening, I was thinking about society right now. Like, you have the lazy saw me as a poor Mexican who is not valuable. Like, Trump has done us in. As Latinos, he's done us in. He's classified us as terrorists, as tormentors, as the cartel. And there's some beautiful Mexican women who are just trying to feed their kids, or beautiful young men who want to work their butts off just so that they could provide for their family. And so this lady literally treated me like a second-class citizen, because there's no way that I, a Mexican, stay-at-home mother, have enough financial value to obtain something she had. And so I literally touched the machine, and what proceeds out of the mouth of God is what we have to stand by. And God already told me I could have it. And I just had to tap into faith for that. And so I remember saying, touching her long arm. I'm like, you don't know what my God can do for me. You don't know God. You don't know God at all. And so your standards are not God's standards. And the way God moves in my life is so different than how he'll move from yours. Well, anyway, I went home mad because the girl told me I could not have something, and I put myself to pray. I said, God, I want that long arm. I want that long arm. And then I literally filed for a credit. I didn't have the credit for the long arm. I had no money saved up for the long arm. She was right in a sense, but I didn't know how God could move. She was right. I didn't know how God plans could be. Hello from Mississippi. How are you? And so I guess what ended up happening is a year later, well, I was like, I want that long arm. If faith is things hoped for yet not seen. And then faith also has to be tapped into hearing, like what faith comes by hearing the word of God. So I'm like, I'm going to have that long arm every day. My husband's like, you and that long arm. Okay. I was annoying. But I was putting my faith to action. And so a year later, I said, God, if you don't want me to have the long arm, I don't have no point to prove. I'm okay. I'm okay with it or without it. The value of who I am is not the things I obtain. It's just you. And so, if I doubt, don't do it. Yes. You have to hold on your faith. He says, he who doubts is like the wave of the sea, tossed to and like you're being tossed, right? And so I just had to have faith. And I had to have faith that what God said I could have, that I could have. But it had to be God who said I could have it, right? I can't say God said I could have this if he didn't want me to have it. So a year later, within that time of me, I want the long arm. I want it. God, you said I could have it. God, you told me I could have it. God, you told me. Okay. I had a dream. The rumor originally had it in my first videos. The way I had it, I had a dream. I had the long arm there. And I was telling people about the lights. The lights right there. I was telling people about the lights, he's the light, right? He's the light of the world. And sure enough, within a year, I got the long arm. And my mom gave me a loan for $30,000. I paid her back. But I got the long arm. And you know what's so sweet about this whole thing? And this is what faith is. And I'm just saying, tapping into the will of God in your life, tapping into what God has for you. I got the long arm January 1999. January 9th, 1999? No. Oh, no. No, I got the long arm January 9th, 2009. And I started preaching in my house January 9th, 1999. So 10 years of me being a minister and preaching, the Lord blessed me with the long arm in my 10th year anniversary. And I remember going to a random place, having a random pedicure in a random area in shirts. And guess who randomly came in to that random place, that random nail salon? The person who told me that I would never have the long arm. And guess what I got to tell her? I got to tell her that my God, who she said could not give me, gave me a long arm. Not only did he give me a long arm, he gave me a long arm that was painted. Blood red, like the blood of Christ. Also, burgundy is my favorite color too. He gave me a long arm with the blood of Christ. It had a computer system. It had hydraulics. It had everything. Her long arm only had the long arm. It didn't have a computer. Hers was not painted. Hers didn't have a hydraulics. I had her long arm was $16,000. My long arm cost me 38. And this poor little Mexican girl who didn't make her own money, who didn't have a penny to her name really, but had a love for God. I had worship in my soul. I'm a servant of the Lord. I pray, I preach, I tithe. I went to church for 8 years and submitted to my shepherd. I read my Bible all the way through several times, and I just loved Jesus. And he chose to bless me with the long arm. And that's why when someone has a dream, someone one time we were doing a live and they're like, you can't afford it. You don't know what God can do for somebody. I couldn't afford the lasers, to be honest. I couldn't afford them. I really couldn't. I didn't have $21,000 saved in my bank account. I just kind of had a dream that I wanted them. And then God gave me the work. He brought the clients. And some of you are from like, I've met some of this. You guys watch my videos and almost like because you love me, you brought me work because you knew I needed it. Like I've met a beautiful subscriber who I told her every time she comes, I give her something like candle, a gift, scissors, something, because I want to thank her for like, dude, you bringing your quilts to me paid off one of the payments for my laser. Thank you for bringing me your work, bringing me your quilts. I remember when I had the baby laser, I was supposed to send it back, but I felt that God, you know when I got that dumb laser? January 9th. January 9th is when I got the baby laser sent to me from Eon Lasers in 2022? 22? Was it 22? Yeah, 22. January 9th of 2022. My anniversary of the first day I preached. My anniversary of the first time when I got my long arm delivered. I got the baby laser. And it was given to me like as a trier, like just user, learn from her because we're getting delayed with the big laser. And I kind of told God when I had to give it back, I kind of feel like you gave me this baby laser. You gave it to me. I didn't want to give that one up. I would have rather given up the big one because I got it on the same anniversary day of the first time I ever preached. And but then I felt like keep it. I heard the Holy Spirit say keep it. And so I'm keeping it, right? And I'm like, but now I have to come up with $8,000. I had to come up with $8,000 in, well, I had like $4,000 saved up at the time because I paid the large laser. I had $4,000 left over. It's horrible, okay? And I gave them all my money and I had nothing else. Nothing. I still had to pay another $4,500. And I was like, are you sure? Like, am I even going to make? And what they did is they made me pay for 3 months. Pay half and then pay payments for 3 months. Oh, Lord, Jesus have mercy on me. And sure enough, every month, I think I had to come up with the close to $1,500 a month payment for the laser. And every month I had the money. And I promise you, I don't have work like that every month. I don't have $2,000 worth of work every month, every single month like that. It's not normal for me. I'm busy sometimes with a lot, and sometimes I'm not busy. I'm busy in different, like embroidery or heat press vinyl. But I honestly can say, like, it was God who gave me the work. And I guess like in this whole like selling on e-commerce and everybody kind of people will try to put their hands on God things People will put their hands on a God dream. People will put their hands on you, and they'll have different motives. They'll have different motives. They'll have different plans for you. And anyway, when I went to the partnership, the people are wonderful, but their motives are so different than and I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying, like, is that the journey you want to take? You know, like when I was young, I was beautiful, I was thin, I was healthy, and men had their different motives for me. You know, I was innocent and secure, I was lovely, and people family members had different motives. I had a family member who befriended me not because she liked me or cared for me. It's because she used to take advantage of my husband, and she wanted to make sure that she was close to me so she could keep her hand in my husband's pocket. So if any time my sister-in-law, needed money, she could get money off of him. And it wasn't that she even loved me. Does that make sense? It's not that she even cared for me. It's that she cared for what I could benefit her for. And so people have that in business a lot. And I kind of got in the web of it, I feel like I got tangled in it recently. And like, you need to get Shopify, and you need to get this, and you need to, and I feel like I'm having to like, unravel the webbing of what people want for you. Man, people see what I have, and right away they're like, well, you should make money. Like, you should sell your embroidery machine. Like, you should be like, people will. Isn't it crazy? And y'all do quilts, right? You make beautiful quilts, or you make something beautiful, or you do beautiful work in some way, and right away you make a quilt, and then someone will come up to you and say, hey, why don't you sell it? Why don't you make money off of it? Why don't you do this? And the people who are telling you are the people who themselves have crooked motives. They don't have a pure motive for you. I was literally listening to music producers, like the stuff that happened to Britney, the stuff that happened to the singer Pink, some of the stuff that happened to beautiful artists that have these gifts and talents, and here they get record deals and they don't even make any money because the people who manipulated them to sign these contracts took advantage of their artistry. And artists are not really business. You just love doing the art. Your mind is not about the money. As a matter of fact, what is that guy who he's a famous artist. He used to do murals. He was famous on PBS. On Netflix, they did a documentary that they took his identity and his namesake, and they're still selling products under his face and his likeness. And his children, who should inherit that, cannot even fight for it because they sold the rights to the name and the face of the artist. And so there's this, people, sometimes you got to be careful. And so I'm finding people motives in your lives may not be healthy ones. And when you're 50 years old, I think you catch it better. You catch people trying to manipulate you. You catch people who are using your talent or your gift or your abilities, your strength. You know, the military is not hiring old men. The military is hiring young, vigorous, strong men to use their youth to fight an old man's war. Isn't that what they say? politicians are old men and they make decisions for young ones. And they go into war and battlefields for something that's not even part of what they wanted to live life for. And I got caught up in that this month. And to be honest, this month has been, what are you thinking? So, what are you thinking? And so I've been kind of lost. Have you ever been I feel like I'm lost. I've been lost. I was going into they have these wonderful partner meetings and they talk all business and they share all this wonderful insight. And let me just say this, like, business and money's great, but crap, the taxes you have to pay, I've been audited. It sucked. Being audited sucks. It sucks. There was nights where I was not sleeping because I had to find paperwork from 5 years ago. I was running back and forth to my bank trying to make sure that I had everything. And I'm honest. I want to be right. I try to do everything right. But the insecurity of being audited, it was the worst thing that could ever happen to a human being who has a business. And these people who are making six figures, well, that's a 6-figure audit. You even get audited with 6 figures, and that's a lot of numbers, and that's a lot of money. And I was looking at Shopify. They were talking about how on Shopify, you have to pay sales tax to all the different states you sell to. I was like, oh my God, it's hard enough to do the sales tax for Texas. And I have to come up with the sales tax for Michigan, for South Carolina, for Pennsylvania, whoa. It's a mess. And so, I don't know. I encourage you just to do whatever the Holy Spirit or God puts in your heart to do. I don't know. I'm over chatting. So what do y'all think, guys? Please tell me. Give me some counsel. I'm here to hear your point of view because I'm so overwhelmed. But I don't know. Anyway, I went to prayer. I think I'm just going to do it the way I've been doing it. It's been working for me, I think. And one lady called me. Oh, she's a YouTuber. She says, well, what the hell did you get all those the lasers for? And I go, for me to play with. That's what I got it for. What do you care what I get it for? It's not your money. It's mine. But she sure did want to have her hand on. She even said, well, if you make things, I could put it on my Shopify and I'll sell it, for some commission, I'll charge you some commission. And I was like, the other day I gave you some stuff. You turned around on Facebook or YouTube that you were going to steal my idea and patent it. And now you want me to give you my products so that you could sell them on your website? Like, you're some crooked, man. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out kind of phase. But I want to stay honest. That's not a bad thing to stay honest. Anyway, we had the meeting, right? We had I had a partners meeting, and she looked at my Instagram. Okay, my Instagram's kind of small. My Instagram, I don't care. Like, it's stupid. I just don't care. I don't care. Yes, I'm a content creator. Yes, I do YouTube videos. Yes, whatever. But I don't care. I'm not valuable because I have 1 million subscribers. I'm not valuable. That's not valuable. Who cares? Okay, so she goes, well, do you have an Instagram? And I said, yes. She went on my Instagram and then it only has like 300 followers. She literally went like, really? Really? Like, you don't even have followers. No. And then she goes, well, where else do you have a social media following? Because I only have it on YouTube, kind of, okay? Y'all are my followers. Y'all my people. Y'all the only reason why they're interested in me. Because y'all watch my YouTube, Lorena's Quilting channel. I'm not valuable anywhere else because I don't have any other social media that's has a following like this. And so she turns around and she goes, where else do you have following? I go, well, I have a Lorena's Facebook group, Lorena's Quilting Facebook group. And she goes, well, how many inside herself? She's not doing this in my face, but you could feel her energy like, well, how many following people do you have there? And I go, well, I think I have maybe 1,000 to 1,200. I don't know. She goes, what did you do to get them to go over there? What did you give them? What product did you provide them? What did you sell them? And I said, nothing. I go, I just told people that I have a Facebook group over there. And if they want to do a block swap or if they want to do a challenge and she goes, well, what do you do for them? I go, well, I did a challenge and I gave $300 worth of gifts away. She goes, you gave them things? You didn't get money off of them? I'm like, no, I gave 2 irons away. Oh my God. I don't know, people. I don't know. People just, I don't know. And let me just say this. If you're doing YouTube or TikTok or whatever, you're valuable. Even if you have 1 follower, 1 subscriber, you're valuable. Even if you're a housewife who's taking care of her 5 kids and your life is breastfeeding your baby, having a baby, mopping the house, sweeping like I was for 10 years, 20 years, 30, I don't know how many years that was my life. Going to school to pick your kids up every day, and it's a day in and day out thing, bathing your children. God, you're really valuable. You're a treasure. You're important. Or if you're a husband going to work to make sure that your kids, or a wife or a mother going to work and making sure that your kids have food on the table, like how much more valuable can you not be? Like you're precious. Like, and the sad thing is we look at everybody else who has, like y'all look at me who have a long arm, and the truth is you know what I miss? You know what I really miss? I miss my babies. I had my grandchildren come, and one time they were walking behind me. Oh my God, I'm crying. I just miss my babies. You know when they're babies. And before I was dumb because I was like, oh, they're annoying. They don't leave me alone. I can't even go to the bathroom by myself. Oh, they're screaming. They're throwing a tantrum. They just threw their bottle. They just crapped all over themselves. They just vomited in the car. But now as an older lady, I miss those times. I miss the sweet hugs. I just miss those times where you're the most important person in the world. And your kids, when you walk in a room, they're cheerleading you on, they celebrate you, they're excited to see you. And they don't know what hell you went through. They don't know what kind of day you dealt with. They don't know anything. And you're the most important person in the world to them. And I miss my kids when they were 3 years old, 4 years old, when they were just little babies and they used to just look at me and stare at me. And the hardest thing is, I think at the time, I didn't value it as much because I had sleep deprivation. I was having body issues, like I wasn't skinny anymore, I had stretch marks, I wasn't who I thought I should be because society said I should be this, but I was beautiful. Like I had 5 children. They were beautiful, they were healthy. I mean, I just had such a warped sense of way of seeing value. And my kids are grown adults now, and they have their children to hug and to hold, um, and they're beautiful. They're living their lives the way they want to, and I want them to live their lives the way they want to. And but the truth is, it's the long arm business, the laser. It's just a consolation price, right? But the real reward was when my kids just told me that they loved me and that they appreciated me. I remember I have my daughter, one of my daughters, they would go out to go get pizza at Little Caesars, and the baby, and she's still the same way. And she would literally, everybody, my husband would give them like a quarter for a gumball. And all of them would get a gumball and all of them would eat it. And she was the only child that would go ask dad for another quarter, so that she wanted me to have a gumball like everybody else had a gumball. And she would bring me a gumball. And I think of her, but all my kids did specific intimate things like that. And like I had one of my sons, he would always at night he would look at me and say, "Are you okay, Mom?" He just wanted me to be okay. And I mean, if you have kids, if you like that, this social media making 6 figures is just, it could be such a deception to keep your eyes off of what's really valuable. And what's really valuable is the people that God has put right in front of you. And I'm sharing this because I had a mother, and I love her. And this happens to a lot of us. You have people telling you that your value is only this, so that you go and you make your business and you're making your career and you're making your life and you're doing whatever you need to do to hit the standard of what someone says the standard is, and you work real hard at it and you invest in it. And while you do that, you leave what's truly valuable behind, and you forsake what's important, which are your kids. Like I have a father who abandoned me, and I had a mother who loves her children, but her main focus was to be a provider for them. And I understand, like, I don't judge her, but she never took time to love and hug her children. And now, as an old lady who's 70 something years old, she's alone because her children that she didn't hug when they were little are living the same independent, detached life like her, away from her. And so I'm so glad that I learned from her mistakes and I learned from her successes. And it is so easily to, like, just talking to people who want me to be their partner, it's so easily to detach yourself from what truly is important. Because people will try to tell you this is what you need to accomplish to be valuable or important. You need to you need to put all your partnerships on all your social media. You need to have, so many followers on Instagram. You need to get your Shopify and make $100,000, 6-figure income. But then at what cost? At what cost? At the cost of my health? At the cost of my marriage? At the cost of put everything like on the line and create so much debt that I end up having to go into foreclosure so that I could satisfy what everybody's standard for me is. Like, I have to have a nice car so that I look important. At what cost? I mean, why people are getting divorced because they get into houses that they can't even afford, and they're working, both of them are working so much that they don't even have time to spend with their children. And then they wonder why their children don't want to be with them. Things don't fix relationships. Like, I have a family, and to be honest, I have a brother who treated me like trash and trashed my character, and he thought bringing me donuts fixed it. Donuts don't fix stuff like that. Things don't fix stuff. Apologies do. Sincere ones, like accountability. I'm just saying, like, everything costs you if you don't pay attention to what you could lose. Like, I could really, like, make a lot of money. I know I can. I could make a hell of a lot of money and ignore my husband and not hang out with my grandchildren and not talk to my children so that I can make the 6-figure qualification of what someone sees important. And who gives a crap if someone sees my importance, if my children can't stand being around me? Like, it doesn't matter in the end. I think I'm so glad that my kids like me. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I have a son. We spend Saturdays together, and we have these really intimate conversations, and I just love that. Like, he wants to talk to me. He wants to, like, he goes, Mom, I want to pay this off. What do you think? And we brainstorm about decisions so one of the decisions was like, should I pay my AC or pay my car off? What do you think? And then I'm like sharing, like, son, if I would pay your AC, because anything you invest in your house increases value. A car loses value, so put that towards your house. Like, he goes, Mom, I never thought of that. Thank you. Like, I'm so thankful that that I have godly counsel, that I have righteous counsel for them, that I've read the Word of God, and God has taught me to have wisdom. I mean, and I was on TikTok, and man, I cannot believe what people will sell themselves for. And I can't believe I'm going to just share some stupid stuff I see on TikTok. There's guys on lives in their underwear without shirts, and they're like, they're kind of hit it and split it kind of guys. They're going to hit and split. They don't care about women. They care about themselves and satisfying that need. And I was sitting there, because you could watch people's lives and you don't have to join. So I'm sitting there watching this guy flirting on the TikTok live, and I go, this guy has no morals. And there's women, young, beautiful women, who are going to have a relationship with an immoral man, and then they don't understand why he left them when she got pregnant. It's just sad. But I'm shocked. I was shocked. It's such a, like, whoa. The neat thing about YouTube, whether we like it or not, it really does have some controls. But also too, if you subscribe to your content creator, you really do subscribe to the person, right? Because on TikTok, if you follow one, right away, that person you followed, it tells that other person, hey, do you want to follow the person that followed you? On YouTube, it doesn't do that. If you subscribe to me, it doesn't notify me to subscribe to your channel. So there's not that interaction. I don't know. it's so easy out there to go the wrong way. It is so easy. And just in this partnership, I love the people, and I'm not saying, and I love the company. I love the laser. I love the laser. But their vision for their company does not necessarily mean that it's the way I should run mine. And the way they, this 20, 30-year-old, like, run, hustle, 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 hustle. I didn't have to do that. I don't have to I'm 50 years old. What the hell do I have to do that for? I'm already settled. I don't have to buy a house. I already bought a house. I don't have to buy a new car. I already bought 3 new cars. I don't have to do any of that. I just need to find what God wants me to do. And so I hope that you guys have that too. Like, find what God wants you to do. Find it for yourself. And if you have a dream, take it to God. Share it with Him. Share your dreams with Him. I never wanted a long arm. I never wanted an embroidery machine. I really didn't. I just knew that when I sewed, it felt like I got closer or quiet inside so that I could hear God for myself. I just knew that when I started sewing, God started healing me when I was dealing with some of my own monsters in my own heart and my own struggles. And that's what sewing was for me. And some of you, it's art. Some of you, it's walking. Some of you, it's exercise. And that's what God has for you. It's that place that you could silence your soul and you could kind of find center. And I feel like I went into a storm of everybody, and I realized, sadly, I'm a people pleaser. I've dealt with so much rejection in my life and my childhood, and it's created like a 40-year, 40-day, 40-night fast kind of hunger in my spirit. And I want to, and that's where the devil could come and entice me. I want to prove to everybody that I'm worth not rejecting. I'm worth being loved and accepted. And it's I already got it from God. I don't need it from strangers, but it's so easy to fall into these ditches in life that dissatisfy you and leave you empty. And so, I don't know, I wanted to come up here and I want to make it so shallow sometimes. Like, let's just talk about sewing. Let's just talk about sewing. But then I'm like, no, I think having migraines for 4 days did a number on my psyche a bit. I was trying not to get agitated or frustrated at the people that love me. I feel this like pressures from people who want to grab a hold of, they don't care about me. They care about the following. They care about the long arm. They care about the laser. They care about what benefits them. And it's so hard to find out what really is important sometimes when there's a storm of a lot of people trying to grab you, Like, I don't know, and it's out there. I mean, we just saw the issue with Britney Spears and how her own father, was medicating her because he didn't care about her. He cared about the money and the resources that her career brought to him. And it's like her own father, her own sister, her own mother. I mean, your own family can be contaminated by your success and you don't even know it. Your own family can be contaminated by your beauty, by your strength, and so it's so easy to get kind of lost. I want to, and it's out there. I fell into it. I went to Florida for it. And I'm not saying I'm not going to do the partnership. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to do it their way. I'm not going to do anything anybody's way, but how I feel I need God to lead me. I was thinking I need to do the Etsy, and like my motives are not, I don't need y'all's money. I don't need it. The truth is, I just want to make some cool stuff. And if y'all are interested, it's here for y'all. But I don't need the income or the pressure. But I don't know. It's so easy to get wrapped into everything. I noticed, like when I went on TikTok, they said you need 1,000 people to followers to start doing lives, and right away I'm like posting on TikTok, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, and nothing is wrong with that either, but like, you're okay just the way you are. You're okay. Just take it easy. And you know what I did? I'm going to share what I did. I ended up getting a wolf pattern. Do you want to get out? Hold on, let me get my dog. I went ahead and I went and got a wolf pattern. Yeah, for sure, Deborah. You have to shrink down your... God. You want to have people that really are your cheerleaders, but for real, your cheerleaders, not your cheerleaders who are cheering you on so they can flatter you, so they could use you. You don't want those either. But you want people that just... Well, anyway, my best friend, I've been like wrestling. My best friend goes, I just want you happy. My best friend said to me, you know what we should do? We should just sit down and sew. And so I had this pattern I went and bought. It's called the wolf paper piecing pattern. I purchased it. I'm not into wolves because the Bible says it's just an animal, right? But anyway, the real pattern I wanted was the elephant one, and it still hasn't come in. And I sat down and I told myself that this year I want to do significant quilts. I want to make significant quilts. And not only that, I want to quilt my own quilts. Like this is a quilt I made years ago. I want to quilt this dumb thing. I've made videos on it, on how to design it. But have I quilted it? No, because, nope, I didn't quilt it because Lorena anyway. And, so here I'm like trying to do the Shopify. I'm trying to do the partnership. I'm trying to do what everybody's telling me what to do. I'm like, you gotta satisfy every human soul. You need to do what they say. Okay, so I'm going crazy, right? And then there's something like I'm hitting this hole in my heart. And my best friend says, you know what do you really want to do? And I said, I just kind of want to sit down and sew. I haven't sewn in a year or two. Because in 2021, I was working my butt off so I could get money to put a down payment for the big laser. And then in 2022, I was working my butt off to pay off the baby laser. Like, the sewing I've been doing, and it looks beautiful, right? The filming, the YouTube, the clips, the quilting. It looks beautiful quilting other people's quilts. Of course it does. And trying to shove one of yours in a hurry in there. But have I sat down and pieced the quilt top? No. Have I? And then when I did, for example, I had a group that would get together and sew. But while having the group together and sew, I'm folding out tables. I'm putting tablecloths. I'm getting the iron. I'm setting up the venue, like the place to sew. Then I did the Sweet Honeybee. And it's almost like I was serving, making, doing for everybody to be able to sew. I was breaking my back for it, but did I get to sit down and sew? And she says, what do you want to do? I just want to sew. just, I just want to get grounded, and so anyway, me and her, I think last week before we got together on a random day, it was a day that I had a migraine. We got together and I just sat there and I sewed, and I had this beautiful Christian music playing, and I just started crying. I started crying while I was sewing. And she goes, "Why are you crying? I want you to be okay." She goes, and I'm like, I just miss this so much. I just started crying because I miss sewing, just making something for myself, not with any other pressure, just to sew. There's something very calming about hearing music and you're being creative, and you're being centered, and you're being quiet, and you're just sewing. And I started crying, and the music was playing in the room, and it's like going back to your first love, because that's where I started when my mom tried to commit suicide, and she was in a coma for 8 days, and I ended up going into deep depression and fell apart. And I remember I got an embroidery sewing machine, and I sat there, and the embroidery machine would just be going back and forth, and I would be quietly just reading my Bible, and I would just be talking to God and praying for my mom, and just stop thinking and just do something with the noise of the machine. And it was just such a beautiful, like, wow, like I went back to that place where it was just me and God, I guess. Yeah, it was really pretty. And we sat there for like a couple of hours just sewing. And then anyway, that was like 2 weeks ago. And then last week I'm like, when are we gonna do it again? When are we gonna do it again? And kind of like giving myself permission to not have, of course, I'm still taking care of my bills. I'm still washing laundry. I'm still taking care of everybody or everything that needs to get taken care of, but also giving myself permission to take care of myself. And that whatever the people want from me, whatever YouTube says I should do, whatever TikTok says, whatever this person randomly who messaged me on Facebook, whatever this client is whatever everybody's expectations are, it's like, it's okay for you to just do something for you and to be okay for yourself. And I think you should give yourself permission to do that. And despite the migraine, I had a migraine for 4 days, man. That was a massive pain in my butt. Pain in my head, ultimately. But I got to sew. And with everybody, it almost kind of got me like, okay, what do you really want to do? What do you, Lorena, want to do? And then I said, Lord, what do you want me to do? What do you have for me? And the neat thing is, I gave myself that day to sew, and then a lady messaged me, and she dropped off 5 quilts. I didn't have to hustle for it. I didn't have to fight for it. I didn't have to grind for it. I didn't have to do what the guy on Shopify said. I didn't have to make fake reviews. I didn't have to lie to get the business. I didn't have to harass the person to bring me the work. A lady literally called me and said, "Hey, I met you at Denny's." I met her at Denny's, and she was binding a quilt or something. I said, "Hey, how are you?" And I just started talking to her, and she said, "Yeah, I do quilts." I go, "I do too. My name's Lorena." if you want to watch, I have a Lorena's long arm quilting channel. I go, here's my card. If you need anything, if you need any help, I'm here for you. I didn't even tell her I had a business. I didn't tell her anything. She, on her own, in her own time, went and saw me on YouTube. She went and looked at my card that I long arm quilt. And then she called me probably like 2 months later and said, hey, I want you to quilt my quilts for me. And I have 5 of them for you. And I didn't have to do what Shopify told me to do. I didn't have to have her in mind. Like, I didn't have to harass her. I didn't have to text her. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, God will do it. God will do it with you. And in the oh my God, the panic. When I did my sew day, I'm like, okay, and I literally said, God, you gave me this little business. You're the one that did it. You're the one that told me to have the embroidery machines. You're the one that even pushed me to get a long arm. I didn't even want one. You had a person tell me, disrespect me, to get me mad enough to ask for it. You're the one that did it. And you're the one. So I'm just going to trust you. Yeah. It is so easy to just grind your life. And you're right. It's so easy to just work for people. Work. And I don't know, when I sewed for myself, I didn't even sew that much. I think I had to cut paper for 4 hours. It took forever to cut the paper piece pattern, but I already started it. But just sitting there, hearing Christian music, getting quiet, doing something that I missed, and just enjoying myself was just such a treasure to me. And then work came, and I have several quilt clients that I need to do work for. And today I was like, what do I do today? Do I YouTube a video? Do I live stream? Do I laser? Like, having so much stuff could also be just another ensnarement, because like the decision making is, do I embroider today or do I long arm today? Do I long arm today or do I laser today? Do I do YouTube today or do I do TikTok? Do I do Snapchat? Do I do Instagram? God, you just get so tied up in all of it. And everything feels like a priority and everything feels like it's important. And the truth is, you could do all that stuff and still be miserably unhappy because you're just not doing something that you love sometimes. And so, but yeah, I got in. They're all telling me I need to put, it's well intended, right? The company wants to use my social following. But like I was talking to my sales rep, I said, I just in good conscience can't be in agreement with some things when some things need to get fixed. And, she's like, I gotta let you go and I'll call you back. She never called me back because she didn't like what I had to say to her. Hold on, my dog. Hold on, my knee. Hold on, Cookie. Come on, Mama. And so, I don't know. Just find something that you love and schedule it. Schedule yourself. But I've been wrestling. I was talking to a friend, Chris Bullard. Sorry if a friend, her name is Chris. And she goes, how are you doing today? I'm like, I can't crawl out of bed today. Just simply getting the Shopify and paying for it and listening on YouTube. The deceit, man. Yeah, they want to use me. And I don't know, I can't. And I'm just going to do it my way. I have the code on the bottom of my laser channel if people are interested. they're interested. I also don't feel like, I feel like when I got my long arm quilting machine, there was not a lot of, well, there was Linda's Electric Quilting. Linda, because I got my long arm quilting machine from Linda's Electric Quilting. But there was this lady, Linda, who had it, and she had instructional videos. And Gamel is very good at showing you how, like, to change the belt, how to change the wheels. Like, they do have a support system. And one of the things I found, like with the laser, there is a support system in one machine, but there's not a support system on all machines. And so with the large laser, there's not a lot of support on, meaning there's not a lot of videos, there's not a lot of content. And the truth is, it doesn't need a lot of videos or a lot of content because they're not that hard to move, to use. The machines aren't. They're really easy. It's just a cutting machine. It's not a Cricut, but it kind of like a Cricut, kind of, but with fire and a laser. Okay, it's just a cutter. And so I was telling my sales rep, I was like, there has to be some support, and not like you could talk to a technician and they have a great support system with the laser. I could literally call and be on the phone for 10 hours and they will help me figure it out. But I want to create like a simple instructional manual for beginners. And so I was talking to my sales rep about that. Like, if anybody buys a laser with my partnership code, like, I don't want them to be stranded, because that's how I felt when I purchased the laser. I felt stranded. And I love my sales rep. She says, Lorena, you do what's best for you and you just keep doing your thing. And I love her counsel, but I was kind of discouraged because you have a vision for what you want to do and they have their own vision for what they want to do. And it could get so watered down or so grayed out. And I understand my sales rep, she has to take care of her family. She has to pay bills, and that's what she's there for. She's there for the sale. I'm not. And so we both have different roads we're traveling, kind of. Hello from Northeast Texas. How are you? Hi, Becky. And so I think I kind of got discouraged after talking to her. Like, what the hell am I doing? I've never had a partnership. I've never had anybody tell me what to do on anything. I've always been very kind of free, which is a good thing. I just thought maybe this would be good. I don't know. Well, I'm still on the fence on it. They're good people, though. I like them. I still say they're good people. But I'm still struggling. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm just finding that it is so easy out here to get lost. It is so easy. I know, like, I used to have a client who does YouTube, who I'm not personally very interested in anymore, but her motives are succeed, 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 succeed. I don't care if I walk on your head to get ahead. I'm getting ahead. That's all that matters. I'm getting ahead. I don't care if I use you. I'm getting ahead. Why did I want to be a partner? Honestly, I don't know. I think why did I want to be a partner? You know why? This is dumb. I did a video on Lorena's laser and I had so much making it. So much fun making the video. I had a blast. I try to have a blast here making videos here, but it's different. I think I'm a little bit more organized, more structured. I've kind of had a following, and my following, they expect, they like certain things, right? I want to change it up a little bit and make it a little bit more different. I'm going to try. But I just was being an idiot, and I sent it to my sales rep, and my sales rep sent it to the owner, and I really do appreciate the owner in his heart. He, when I went to the Florida to meet them partners and stuff, he said, I really loved your video. He goes, because it wasn't a review. It was because, to me, having the laser was like having a dream, a dream come true. Like I've wanted a laser since 2018. And so when I got one in my hand, it was like, oh my God, all these opportunities to do something unique and exciting for myself. I like trinkets. I like, oh, you want to see something I made? Okay. So so I guess for the first time, a big company who I do like, I like Eon Lasers. I do like them. I do love the owner that he was willing to ship me a laser without any expense to me, meaning he didn't charge me shipping. He didn't charge me anything. He sent it to me. He says, just use it. Just use it. We know there is a shipping delay. We know you're frustrated and we want to do good by you. And that's where he won me. And then to have this big company say, we love your video and we love your content and we want to support you, because if I'm a partner with them, they're kind of supporting my channel, I guess. We want to support you and we thank you for your videos. And that's why I honestly considered the partnership. It's almost like I saw that the owner was good to me and went out of his way for me, and that I felt like he does have the same heart I do. I thought initially it was just going to be me doing YouTube videos on Lorena's lasers, and just the obligation was just to have the partnership in the information bar. I didn't expect that, and this wasn't him, this was a couple other people that want to tell me how to become a partner. I don't think he personally cares how I am a partner, how he doesn't care. There is a monetary gain, meaning if someone purchases a laser with my link, there is a 10%, or no, I think it's a 3% commission off of the sale, but it's just not 3 commission. I'm going to have to pay taxes on that. So ultimately it wasn't about the money. I think I just felt like they saw my heart. That's what I felt. And I believe he did. And I believe a couple of the people who saw the videos did. But then it became after the Florida trip, it became, this is business. Let's do the business. And a lot of people who have a laser are really grinding out the business. And so when you become partners with other people who are partners in the grind of the business, you kind of get kind of swamped, kind of surrounded by people. They bought the laser to make a lot of money. They want to make money. Their heart is to make money. And I'm an outlier in the bell curve. I am not someone that got the laser just to make money. I got the laser to make cool stuff. Like, I got the laser to get away from the business of quilting, because I really got the long arm quilting to do art, but it became a business. And I really did get embroidery to do fiber arts, but it became a business. So I kind of like, and if it becomes a business, I don't mind that. But the truth is I wanted an outlet. But when you're consumed around people who their whole vision is the business, then you kind of feel like you feel like an oddball, because the meetings are very business. And so then there is a thing that happens in society where society follows the motion of a society's current. So it's very hard to be different in a current of people who are motivated to make money. And I'm not motivated with that. And so it's almost like the current's hitting me. And then I internally am struggling, like, am I doing the wrong thing? Why did I get the laser? Maybe I got the laser. I should have a business. I should make money off oh my God, why am I not making money off the laser? Because of the current of how everybody else's minds are. And so that's where I kind of got like lost. I feel like there's an identity crisis. Like, what do I really want to do? And I didn't think being a partner in this company would have done that to me. Because I just thought, like, I'm just going to do my YouTube videos. I'm going to be my goofy self. I'm going to make some cool stuff. Like, I'm going to make a box. And I don't know what else I'm going to make. I'm going to make a ruler. I'm going to play. I'm going to make, like, I got a job from this lady, which was really neat. There's a family member who died. And she asked me to do, like, they're not corsets. Is it corset? It's a... it is a pendant, right? She asked me to do pendants, and she wanted 50. And so I made, and look, I was so excited because I made these. It was a circle. It had the person's name all the way around it, and I put a crucifix on it because the dude who I did this for, who died, was a clergy. And so I was so a man of God. I was doing these things for a man of God and his family, and I was praying for all these things. I ended up doing 50. It was torture. It was torture. But it was creative. I ended up making something out of nothing. And in my mind, a design came up, and I created, and I came up with something for this person. And this person was so rude. This person was so ungrateful. My rule that if you are rushing me to do a rush job, I'm not going to do it. Literally, she asked me to do it Wednesday and wanted to pick them up Friday. Dummy Lorena didn't follow her rules of 2023. I didn't follow my stupid rules. And I ended up doing these pendants, and I literally stayed up for 2 nights, a full day. I worked on them in the day, stayed up all night working on them, because the current of, you need to make this a business. You need to make this a business, because I'm around people who have that mind. And here I got a job of 50 things that I could do on my laser. Now I'm in line with their mind. I have a business. Let's make money off the laser. And I didn't sleep. Doing those stupid things took forever. It did satisfy the creative soul in me. But then the lady showed up 2.5, 3 hours late. And when I gave them to her, she's like, meh, thanks. I was so mad. Because she was mean. She didn't, I don't know. That was my fault, though. I should have said no way, I'm not going to do it. But it is so easy. Let's just simplify it. It is so easy when you're around a complainer and you have like 3 friends that are complainers. It's so easy to start complaining with them. It's so easy. And then later on, when you walk away, you catch yourself like, I didn't like how that was, or I didn't like how that happened. I need to be careful when I'm with so-and-so, Leslie Frinkle, whoever person that's a complainer in your life. I need to be careful with Leslie Frinkle, that when I'm around her, I'm not complaining like her. It is so easy to fall into the currents of people's behavior. And that's what I caught in myself. And I think that's what I was wrestling with. Like, being in this partnership maybe is not healthy, because I don't have the same vision that they have. I don't have the same purpose. I'm not 30 years old. I'm not 20 years old. I don't want to have that hustle. I do want to work, but I stayed up till I literally worked from 6 o'clock all the way to 6 o'clock in the morning to have that job done for that lady. And she was rude. She was mean. She didn't even appreciate my effort. But that initially I felt that the partnership, and this is where I'm out of line, right? And I take responsibility. I thought this business, it's a business, right, had my vision. And the truth is they have their own vision. That's why relationships sometimes go bad. You're a friend with someone, And your friend, you need a friend to satisfy these things, like a listening ear, someone who 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 values, what you do. And then that's why I didn't fit at the quilt guild. At the quilt guild that I was going to, is I went because I was like, oh my God, they're quilters just like me. They love quilting like me, and they love quilting for people to bless them just like me. And the truth is there was people in that group that they didn't love quilting like me. They loved quilting so they could make money off of me. And I guess that's where I kind of spun around. And that's why I'm being honest with myself, like, okay, maybe this partnership, and after I talked to my sales rep, I was like, maybe this partnership is not where I fit. And if it is, and I like what my sales rep says, do it your way. Don't worry about anybody else. Do it your way, which was so okay. That's fair. You don't have to do it the way they want you to. You just do it your way. So let me see. I took one of your rules to heart. Okay, what rule? To turn down work from someone who has been extremely rude to me after judging. Oh my God, you're so smart, Deborah. Oh. Yeah. Deborah, you're so smart. I was so mad at myself. I was going to come up here and do a live stream, but I was so embarrassed. Like when the things I'm going to do for myself in 2023. One, not take work. I was so mad at myself. But you know what? It was like, what got me? Is I could be creative. I could design something so unique that she can't find anybody else. And you know what? I get to play with my laser. Yeah, I get to make something with. That's what got me. That's what got me. And honestly, what I did for her was delicious. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was neat. It was awesome. But I also learned that making 10 of one thing is one experience, and making 50 of one thing is a totally different experience. It's not. And I think where it really sabotaged me, where it got me like mad, she showed up late and didn't really take, she rushed me. And this is what, the rule was, they're inconsiderate and they're selfish and they don't care about your time, and all they care about is their own time and what you do for them. She didn't even care that I did this job in 2 days, 50 items in 2 days. And even at that, she still didn't show up at the time that she said she was going to come and pick them up. It was just honestly I was so mad at myself. Like, duh, you're dumb. And then she was rude because I was like, do you like it? And she just rolled her eyes at me like, yeah, whatever. Because I literally called her out like, ma'am, you said you'd be here at 2 and it's 4:30. Try not to be mad. Try to be nice. Try not to get offended. Try to be kind. Anyway. You did this for the pastor. You did this for a clergy, a man of God. You did it with the right heart. Let it keep your right heart. Don't get mad. I wanted to go crazy. I told a friend of mine, I go, I'm so mad. I want to get these things I made and burn them in a fire like a sacrificial lamb. Like I want to destroy them. I had so much frustration in me. I wanted to destroy something that I spent 12 hours creating because this person was so inconsiderate. But yeah, I didn't keep my word. I didn't follow through on my own rules. And so yeah, but Doris, that's why I kind of considered the partnership. And I don't have to do it ultimately. Like they gave me a code. I don't have to do it. There's no I just kind of realized and the truth is, I'm alone a lot. This is my life. I talk to y'all on YouTube, but the truth is I guess maybe I'm not socialized enough to see the social behaviors of people, how they're I'm not around it. And so all of a sudden I go into this community and they have this way of thinking, and it's very, they're like money. And it's just, wow. And almost in my mind, maybe this is what I should do. Maybe I should be this way. Maybe I need to make my business grow bigger. Maybe like there's this hustle, like, or maybe people pleasing in my heart. Maybe, but let me show you this. In all the wrestling, okay, in all the dumb wrestling, I ended up, like I said, I was real discouraged, and I got to sew, and I sat and I sewed, and I told God, I said, God, whatever you want from me, you gave me the lasers. That's all that matters. You gave it to me, and I want you, you to lead me. And if this is not mine to have, I don't want it. And I ended up going on TikTok, and there was some people doing a live, and I was just talking to them. Was I on the live? I think it was Instagram live. And I got to be on the live, and there was someone doing handwork. He was doing a hexagon thingamajig, and it's that, the hexes where you piece it together. And oh my God, it was a man, and he has big fingers, right? And he says, I go, why don't you get a thimbles from Thimbles for You? Because I love her thimbles. And he said, I have nails. He had a longer nail. And I said, okay, but they have a tailor's thimble. You could get one from them. I was so excited. Like, yeah, I have information. Let me share it with you. Okay. And he was like, he goes, oh, okay. And then this is God to me. I ended up finding a whole bunch of leather in a drawer. So I pulled out the leather, and on the laser, you could cut leather. And I found it in the drawer, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take this to the back house, and I'm just going to have it in the long art laser room. So one day, if I want to play, I could laser the leather. Now, Eon lasers don't give you settings. They have a setting app or a settings thing that you go, and it'll laser everything at a certain speed and power, but you kind of waste material. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to look to see if anybody has laser settings, and I found some. So I was just doing my own thing, wrestling with my stupidity, trying to figure out what my life is going to be like now. Feel like it's crashing down on the world, like, okay. And someone said, he literally said, I have my grandma's laser thimble. I have my grandma's laser thimble, and I put it in water and I stretched it. He goes, why don't you make one in leather? And why don't you make one in leather? And it just like popped in my brain. I go, oh my God, I have the leather. So I went, and we were on the live, and I went and I got my computer and I started designing a leather thimble. And in making a leather thimble, I go, you know what? I had this pop in my brain, like it could be a corset thimble. Oh my God, I could make a corset thimble, a thimble with the corset. Because I watch people who make corsets on YouTube. I love people who make Victorian corsets. I'm too chubby to wear a Victorian corset because, I'm an apple. Anyway, so I was like, I could make a corset thimble. And I told the young man, his name is Alfred. He's on TikTok on Alfred. I said, Alfred, measure from one end all the way around. Remember, I love just making stuff. And he measured, he gave me the measurement. And so I put it in the computer. And so I ended up making him a corset thimble. And I went to the back of the laser, and I lasered at 2:00 in the morning. I lasered a thimble. And so let me share. I ended up making this thimble, a thumb thimble, for myself. Can you see it? And I ended up making, I still need so look, can you see it? Do you see that corset? Thank you. Look, it has my name on it. Look, corset thimble. And so look, you see the corset? Well, on his, I did it in ribbon. And so while I lasered it, while they were there, we were lasering it. And they were watching me on the live. And I like, honestly, and so look, I ended up lasering this one. Let me see. Do you see it? Wait. I don't want to get too much light on there. Do you see it? But look. So, okay. This is exciting to me. This is why I got the laser. It's stupid, maybe to y'all. Well, to the young laser people, it's stupid because it's, I don't know, like, it's, to me, what it's about, I made a thimble with a corset. Like, I'm so excited about that. Corset thimble. And then I got a thumb thimble. I don't know if about y'all, if you ever, when you're appliquing, I end up pinning the living, like literally pinning, like ramming a pin in my thumb. Now this one I did laser, but then I went to the leather candy store and I found out, do you remember I did a long arm leather quilting video? Do y'all remember? If some of you have been with me for a while, you may have seen it. I literally long arm quilted leather. It was suede leather. So this is why I had the leather, because I went and bought leather so I could long arm it. There's a long armor that she's famous for doing leather. She quilts leather. She does beautiful quilted leather. And so this one I lasered, but I had leather stain and I have leather paint from that time that I bought leather, because I go down rabbit holes of like new project, new buys, new things to purchase. Okay. So I stained it and all the engraving disappeared. All the engraving totally disappeared. Totally disappeared. It's gone because I stained it. So the next day, like an excited little 2-year-old girl, I ran to Tandy Leathers. I ended up buying like a paint that you paint the edge of the, I don't know if you can see it. You paint the edge so that it doesn't fray on you. I ended up buying ribbon with leather, because before I did it with a satin ribbon. Anyway, that's why I got the laser. To make stuff like this. I don't know. That's what I spent $20,000 on. So I could make weird stuff that doesn't exist out there. And anyway, so I sent Alfred his thimble. I was so proud of it. And honestly, I created this when I was so like discouraged with the Shopify, with what am I going to do? Which way should I go? And almost doing the live and lasering a thimble kind of, okay, like, this is so cool. Like, I think parents give their kids toys because they want to see their kids joyful with the toy that they play with, right? I also think that maybe God gave me the laser so that I'm that little girl, or he gave you the sewing machine or the fabric or the scissors or the car or the shoes, so that you're that child in his eyes and he could just see you enjoy it. And that night, I literally wore this thimble on my finger all night like a little girl. Like I made this thimble because it wasn't stained. Okay, it wasn't stained. It had my name on it. It had butterflies all over it. You can't tell because I stained it. I messed it up, okay? But I wore it. I walked with it the next day. Like, okay, Lord, I need to seal it. Now I'm excited because I need to learn about leather. Exactly, when seams match, or however, when you pieced the quilt and you finished it, when you put the last binding stitch, and that's what I think the lasers. I think everything should be like that. Your job, he gave you your job so you could enjoy it. He gave you your career so you could delight in it, so you could be creative there. I don't know. So yeah, and let me put these on my Etsy store, okay? You know anything cool? I don't know. Put your name on it. I don't know. Put your name right here. It's whatever. I don't know. I just had so much fun. And I was like a little girl on that live stream. First of all, I learned how to cut the leather. I learned how to engrave leather. I learned how the leather, literally, the laser cuts little tiny holes. And then I went back and I cut the holes bigger for this leather to go through. I was just so excited. Like, oh my God, this is a good day. But my husband's like, what do you have in your finger? I go, it's my leather thimble. It's like, I'm such a genius. I'm so creative. I made a leather thimble with my laser. Who cares about the partnership? I don't know. Who cares about Shopify? I made a leather thimble. Okay, and honestly, I honestly think God needed to like boost my morale. Here, Lorena, here's a challenge. Here, I showed you where the leather is. You literally have it in the back. Go make this guy. And I really do think I'm a giver at heart. I'm a solution. I'm a fixer. I am a person who will help you fix things. I don't know. That I have that in me. Like, I want to help you. And I had a way of solving his problem because his finger was all screwed up because he was he was doing the hand quilting. Anyway, so I sent it to him and he went on TikTok and he was so excited about the thimble. And he's literally hand quilting a whole thing. He's hand quilting, I don't know, that takes forever. And he is using it and he said it fit him right. It was perfect. Oh my God. Anyway, best day ever. Best day ever. Isn't it the best day ever when you do something that you love and you're excited about it because you did it, and it's the best day ever. And so I kind of found I found my why. And I guess that's why when Doris asked me, well, why did you want to do the partnership? I go, I really don't. I think they asked me, and that's the only reason why, is because they asked me. And I was like, oh, they like me. But in that, when people want you, you have to be careful because they have the vision of what they want from you, and that may not be what you want from you. And so, yeah. But this was like, so why did you buy a laser for this? You can even see it in my face right now. I'm all smiling like, yeah, thimble. Exciting. Like, making this box was fun. It's so much fun. Because I had to figure out how to put the magnets in. I had to figure out how to put the plexiglass. I had to learn how to laser plexiglass. I had to learn how to cut the wood. I mean, I learned so much. And it was fun. No, it was fun. I've glued together and everything. But it was fun. Maybe that's a lesson, right? But I really thank God for that night. Thank God for the challenge. And then for me to come up with an idea and make it. And when I did the business for that lady, it all fell apart in front of me when she was being so rude. And when she just rushed me, I was like, I never want to do work for people who don't deserve my work. It's so hard, right? How do you survive in that? Not doing work for people who don't deserve your work. I only want to work for people who, and who knows when you take in a client if you're going to get that in that person. You just don't know. It's like it's a gamble. Yeah, the pocket knife box. My son, I made him a box because he's an artist for his pencils. And he has a really big following on TikTok. And he was showcasing that box. It was pretty. He goes, Mom, the box encourages me to want to do my art because all his art pencils are in there. But I don't know. It's just a struggle. And I want to share the honest truth of it. Like, it is so easy. It is so easy to be pushed through other people's currents, and it's so easy to kind of get lost in that. And I felt that this month a lot. I also think that I hadn't had my partnership meeting till after the trip. And so it kind of, when I went on the trip, I had a different viewpoint of what the partnership was. And then after the partnership meeting, I understood more of what some people's expectations were, which are not necessarily what I'm willing to do. And so it's you don't really know people until you spend time with them, and until they start really sharing who they are to you by how they talk to you. So yeah, we've been here a while. I've been rambling along, but whatever gift you have, I guess don't let anyone, and it's kind of sad the way I'm saying it, don't let anyone prostitute it. Don't let anybody buy it for nothing. And don't sell it. And that's in every way, like your wisdom, your skill, your talent, your ability, but your art, however it is. But it is really hard when you have a society it's really hard when you have a society that doesn't have that mind. It's really hard. But I thank the Lord for the corset thimble. I was like, thank you, Jesus, for this thing. I fell asleep with it. Okay, the things that make Lorena happy are a piece of leather that has a corset on it. But I don't know. I hope you guys are okay. Sorry for the chitter chatter. I really do appreciate your time. Rhonda, I will promise you with all my heart, I want to stay true to myself. I really do. And ultimately, not to myself, I want to stay true to my Lord Jesus. I want to please him. I really do. I want him to be proud of me. I want him, like there's a scripture. He says, well done, good and faithful servant. I want the Lord Jesus to say that about me one day. That's what I really want. And I don't know. You're in a society that doesn't have that in their heart. But I really want to stay true to myself. But I'm being honest to all of you. It is hard when you have a society that just loves money. It's really hard. It is extremely hard. And, but I don't know. So I am going to do the little Etsy store. I may share it on one of my, hi Teresa, may share it on one of my videos. But you know what? Whatever happens, it doesn't matter. I just decided that I'm going to try with I really just want to love y'all. If I could just make everybody a ruler and send it to everybody, I would. I don't know. I just want to love y'all. I really just want to love all of y'all, because I thank you for just spending time with me. I want to just encourage y'all and love y'all and bless y'all. So Yeah, Rhonda. I just I've really been I've really been wrestling. I've been honest. I'm being so honest. I guess I've never been manipulated. You know what it is? I've never let anyone touch this or this. I've never let anyone um I remember a long time ago when I finished paying my long arm quilting off. I'm going to leave with this. I heard God say to me, He said, Lorena, I literally paid my mom $11,000 or $12,000 off and paid her completely off. And I remember after I paid her, I went to Sea Island to go eat. And God said to me that day, I literally heard this conversation. And let me just say this, God doesn't talk to me all the time, okay? I don't hear it all the time. It's just these moments. He says, Lorena, you can't, how did he say it to me? I need to remember. He literally said to me, he said, when you have a God thing, and a God thing could be something that God gave you, like your sewing, your quilting, your career, your children are a God thing. They're all God things, right? Your marriage is a God thing. Your degree is a God thing. It's God gave it to you. You had to work for it, but God led you to it, I feel. Those are God things to me. He says, he literally told me, people are going to want to connect themselves to a God thing, right? They're going to want to attach themselves to it because they see when you have a God thing, it's always successful. I also think when you have a God thing, it's beautiful. It's like it flourishes, it grows, it manifests. Like when a singer, someone who's been practicing their songs and they have this talent, and all of a sudden they sing, and the rich people see, like, remember on that girl, she was a British lady, she was ugly, she wasn't ugly, like, but she didn't dress, she was old, she was an old lady, she had short hair, gray hair, she was frumpy dressed, considered society's famous or elite, right? And she sang, and I think she sang this beautiful opera song, and you see Simon, like, right? And then right after that, they grab her and they put makeup on her, they color her hair, they dress her up, they deck her out, and they make her do an album, and now she has her own record deal, right? That, to me, it's, you can have a God thing, and then people who don't have God in mind, they only have the money or the thing in mind, they'll want to attach themselves to it, and ultimately they will destroy it or defile it. They'll make it dirty. And so this long arm quilting, ever since I paid my mom off, my embroidery, anything I've done creatively, I feel it's been a gift that God gave me. And so I've had a lot of people like, I want to do a business deal with you. And I'm like, no, I have emails of people want partnerships with me. I'm like, nope, you're not touching this. Nope. There's always been like, no, this is a God thing. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. It's a God thing. This is a God thing. And I kind of thought maybe the partnership was a God thing. And I think it can be if I do it the way God tells me to, not the way they tell me to. And so, I don't know, I guess, but I need to keep that in mind, right? Always in mind. Like business people, you need to have your business in their mind. You need to have their business in their mind. You need, Missouri Star Quilt has to be texting you, emailing you, Netflix has to be notifying you, because, right, I think I have to constantly keep God in my mind. Like, Like, this is a God thing, Lord, or not, and you have a right to protect it because this is yours to protect. He gave you the responsibility to protect. You have to guard it. You have to cherish it. Value, I don't know, people can't buy it off of you cheaply. And so I want to share with you that, like, what are the God things that you have that people want to grab a hold of and that you should really protect. And I'm sharing this because it's a lesson for me still. Literally, I paid off the long arm in 2015, right after I graduated with my degree, or right before I graduated with my degree. And so I've had that. Like, nope, I'm not doing partnership. There's that lady, she does YouTube. She wanted to do videos with me. I'm like, nope, I'm not. You don't have the same heart as me. The Grange, they had their other motives. I walked away from the Grange. Like, nope, you guys, nope, I can't be a part of this behavior. Nope. Like, there's just been this nope. And I do want to be part of this partnership, but I can't be part of this partnership the way they want me to. It's nope. And so, but yeah, I thank you for your time. I just want to encourage you, like, guard what's precious to you. And yes, Rhonda. I love God, man. He made me do this, thimble. Like a little girl, I was so excited. Got to play with my dumb toy. So I love you guys in the Lord, and I thank you. I thank you for your time. I thank you for being with me. And I really, with all my heart, want to just protect y'all also. And honor the sweet investment of you guys wanting to spend time with me. And I'm not going to take advantage of it. And I want to keep that as the truth in my heart. But I love you in the Lord. I'm just going to be here and keep trugging along. God bless you guys, okay? Thank you for thank you. Thank you for hearing my heart out. And hopefully when I die, y'all just still love me. I mean, God bless you, all right? Bye. And stop stream.